Welcome back. The Nigerian Labour Congress and the Trade Union Congress, TUC, have once again stood up for Nigerian workers, and they're proposing a 56,000 naira a month minimum wage for workers, as opposed to the 18,000 naira, which has been the minimum wage for about 4 or 5 years. But people are saying that the timing is all wrong. But NLC, TUC are saying this time is as good as any time if corruption is going to be dealt with and if workers are going to survive. Prices are getting higher, inflation has kicked in, so people need more purchasing power. We have with us in the studio the former president of the Trade Union Congress, Mr. Pt.1. Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you very much for joining us.
You're welcome.
So, what is the rationale for 56? Why that figure?
I think they would have done various research and then look at cost of living. And when we did the last minimum wage, we also got to the figure we also presented to the government was 56. Was 56,000.
Okay.
Yeah. So we presented that 56,000. So government, we had to negotiate for over about 6 months, during various negotiations, and then we now make sure that there's an act of parliament, which is there's a law that minimum wage should be reviewed or shall be reviewed every 5 years.
Okay.
And this is exactly 5 years after the last one was done.
Yeah, but Peter, many states, about 24 states, are having issues paying the 18. So where are they going to get 56 from?
You see, the bottom line is that I want to ask a rhetorical question. Why are they also having so much money for security vote? In spite of this hardship you're talking about,
are they getting security vote?
Go check it out. There's no budget in any of the states in the country that you don't have security votes. And as I'm talking to you, security votes are unaccounted for. There is no way you ask anybody or any governor to come and account for security votes. So what are they doing with those money? That's why you see the Nigerian Labour Congress and the Trade Union Congress are talking about it. That first, let's look at the budget. You always have what I call, even in spite of this economic, in quote, you say the economic situation that we are in spite of all of that, you still have some padding going on in our budgets, both at the national and at the state level. Attention is on the national right now. But if we all have the time to look at all the budget across the line, you will notice why the Nigerian Labour Congress and TUC are saying that 56,000 is actually doable.
But is it worth it?
When you say what is worth it, now let me give you an example. When
I say is it worth it going for this in quote fight? Because you said it that when you started out, what you proposed for was 56,000.
Yes.
And you're back again proposing 56,000.
Now the bottom line.
What's the guarantee that you'll go through with this?
Now the bottom line is, of course, trade unions are meant to negotiate. Yes, this is my offer. This is what I'm offering, and government comes up, and government also provide a counter offer, and then both sides sit down and talk. Because one other thing that I found out in Nigeria, in terms of when people want to raid the trade union movement, is that the movement comes up with a position, and people expect that position to be static. No. Because it's bound to be negotiated. Now, the unions are going to bring how they arrive at 56,000. And if the government is also going to bring, okay, fine, this is what we can pay or this is what we cannot pay, government will also bring theirs. And then we now take it to the court of public opinion. Of course, the public opinion is where the government, the governors and the president were elected. So what you now do is, fine, let's look at budget side by side. And let's now look at, okay, why is this not doable and why is it doable? The first thing is, one thing I found out about the way we do things here is that we do what I call muzzle leadership. It just won't work. We should be able to run leadership whereby we negotiate, we dialogue, and everybody, you put everything on the table. The unions are not irrational. But when you have government or governors telling you that, no, we can't pay this, and you still see a convoy
flamboyance.
Yes, you still see flamboyance around them. So how will you expect the workers to take that?
But when that initial proposal was made, and you talk about the security vote in the budget, you needed to get a legislation to back it for a review. How is it that you did not push for a legislation to reduce the security vote so that it can be transferred to paying workers?
Now, one thing you also need to do is, first, you also when you are going for security vote or you want it legislated, first is what is your core. We are a pressure group, one. Then number two, you also have to look at what is your core area of interest. The primary responsibility of a trade union is to defend and protect the interest of its members, which are the workers. So the primary responsibility was, okay, fine, this is what we want. This is what we think will make our members okay. And in making our members okay, this is also how you stimulate the economy. If workers don't spend money.
Okay. So what has been government's reaction to this suggestion?
Yeah, I think the leadership is waiting for government to respond. Government will respond, of course.
Okay. Whereas, I think every Nigerian will agree that 18,000 naira won't take any Nigerian far right now.
Thank you. Nice to hear that.
They will also maybe say that 56 is a bit on the high side. A jump from 18 to 56.
That is where the negotiation comes in. You see, 18.
Do you think that's reasonable?
18 to 56. Then the in between, we have.
What's that? That's triple. More than triple.
18 to 56. You have what I call the in between is what we are looking for. Yeah, the union is fixed at 56. The current minimum wage is fixed at 18. And we've all agreed that 18,000 naira will not do it. So, what we do it will not come out as a result of negotiation between the federal government and the labor unions.
Let me look at, I'll take you back again to the issue of legislation. It's to be reviewed, the law says it should be reviewed every 5 years. Yeah. This is the 5th year exactly. Do you think that legislation is strong enough? Or do you think government would adhere to that legislation?
I think one thing is, legislation is okay, but I think one thing is that if government does not adhere to that legislature, so the government should also not hold anybody responsible. But because you create anarchy.
Is it also possible to have made that legislation in such a way that labor doesn't necessarily have to come back to government with a proposal? So government gets up on its own to review this every 5 years.
There's nowhere in the world where you have government come and want to review it every 5 years. Because you have to get you get pressure must come. Even in the United States of America, what the government in America had to do was that you have labor movement in America, AFI-CIO, as a pressure group, supported Barack Obama in his first term, with a caveat that yes, we are going to support you, but we want you to do something about the minimum wage. Right now, there's also a discussion going on in America on the need for the minimum wage to also to be increased. So we wanted to make it very easy for the government. That was why we went for the law, so that nobody talks about minimum wage until the expiration of 5 years. And I think, okay, even when we negotiated the 18,000 naira, that 18,000 naira was equivalent to $120. But right now, that 18,000 naira parallel market is like $60. Yeah, that's what you have right now. It's $60. If you go to the parallel market, and even if you want to use the CBN rate, which of course you hardly get, is $90.
But let's look at this other side, where some of the workers are not happy with the leadership of labor.
No, there is nowhere in the world that you expect everybody to be happy with you. Even in your election, even in running election.
Well, the grounds of their unhappiness, labor continues to sell them out.
First, you have
labor never follows through on its promises, and it continues to sell them out.
I'll give you an example. When I was Pengasing president, what you have now, you have people outside who will feel that way. You come with your terms for you to negotiate. One of the biggest problems we have is that Nigerians don't also understand the rules of engagement of a labor movement. So when you think that the labor movement must be stagnant, no. Everything is subject to negotiation. That is our template. You must negotiate. So, but when you think that at every point in time, okay, we say we want 1 million naira, and then you don't get 1 million naira, you get 500,000 naira. The next thing you hear, is sell out.